Hello and welcome to today's episode of ThriveCast. Today we are joining this season with episode number 3, and I am so thrilled that all of you are here. Welcome to the show today. I see you all tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. My name is Dr. Dominique Gummelt, and I am the University Wellness Director at Andrews University, and we're welcoming you to our ThriveCast episode number 3 today. If you're a student at Andrews University, we welcome you. As most of you know, if you're an undergraduate student, you can get co-curricular credit for this program today, and we will tell you at the end of the program where you can find that, okay? Where you can log in to get your co-curricular credit. I'm incredibly excited today. We have an amazing guest on our show, and I know you will love it. And I hope today this will be another chance for you to really start thriving, okay? So really start thriving, to move forward and to actually change your life. I am so excited you're here. Let me see. Jelaine from Ethiopia is in the house. Welcome to the show. Where else are you guys from? Let me know where you're from. Type it in. See what country are you from? What city are you from? Are you in the dorms? Where are you right now? Yes, where are you from? Love to see what country or city. Uruguay is in the house. Welcome, Uruguay. I love it. Hello, Danley. Hello, Malika. Hello, Samantha. It is nice to see you guys. Hey, guys, everyone who's tuned in, please do me a favor and click on the little airplane at the bottom and invite your friends from around the world to join ThriveCast today, because today we have a great guest and you don't want to miss it. You'll be inspired to change your life. So I welcome each one of you. I'm tuning in today from Hanover, Germany. I am actually 6 hours ahead of Andrews University time, so I'm happy to see you from another continent. Nice to see you from Hong Kong. I love this. Fantastic. Welcome to the show, Eunice. All right. I think everybody's ready. We're going to get going. I'm about to bring on my guest, and again, get out a pen, get out a piece of paper. I do this every time because I'm so inspired by the guest, so I'm ready to go. I got my notepad, I got my pen, and please take some notes as we will move forward in our journey to thrive more together, okay? At Andrews University, we believe that every single person, every single one of you, Lyra, Janice, Shirley, I see so many people here. Every single one of you have been made to thrive. And thriving requires so many different elements, many of which we don't pay attention to. So the purpose of our conversations is to inspire, to motivate, to give you tools to move theory into practice, to move the life the way it is up to the next level. And so that's our hope today with our conversation. And without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our guest to episode number 3 of the first ThriveCast season ever. This person has been an amazing doer and earth shaker. This person has changed many lives in so many different ways. This person has actually been coined the physical activity evangelist. This person has so much energy, so much positivity that every person that comes in contact with them will get an extra dose of inspiration and energy just by talking to him. This person currently is assistant professor at the School of Public Health at Loma Linda University. He is actually the person who has become an integral part of building up the new sport that many of you know, pickleball, and he will say more about that today as well. And this person has truly experienced an international upbringing. His connections reach over every continent of this world, and I am extremely excited to have someone who has his doctorate degree, someone who is licensed in a number of specialty areas in health and wellness, and someone who has been playing a very important part to develop the new program at Loma Linda University that focuses on health coaching. I could say so much more, but without further ado, I'm going to pull in Dr. Ernie Medina to the show. Please put in some emojis to welcome Dr. Medina, whatever works for you to welcome, whether it's a drum roll, whatever you want to do, put something in the chat and let's bring him in right now. All right, let's see. This will be interesting. Who wants to be here? Ernie, are you on the program? If you are, you need to go ahead and get tuned in. I do not see your request. If you haven't requested, please request at the bottom so I can bring you into the program. There should be a, let's see, I'm going to help out. There's a double smiley at the bottom of your screen, Ernie, a double smiley, and you should be able to click it. Oh, there you go. Ernie, you need to click on the double smiley at the bottom right and request to be live on the show with me. Can you do that? Go ahead and click on the two smileys on the bottom of your screen. There's a little question mark thing, and then the airplane, and then the double smileys. Okay, let's see if I can bring you in. Okay. There we go. Worries. We can work through this technology situation. It is working, I think. He is about to tune in. I'm waiting for the technology to bring him on the show. Okay, I don't know what's happening. We are having some technical difficulties. Okay, while I'm trying to get him on, guys, I would like you to go ahead and take just a minute to post into the chat what your favorite physical activity is. Can you do that? And I'm going to try to bring him on again, okay? Post in the chat. What is your favorite physical activity? Let me see. What is it that you enjoy doing most? Is it maybe mountain biking? Do you like to do ice skating? What is your favorite physical activity? Post it in the chat, and hopefully we will have Dr. Medina with us shortly. I'm trying to bring him in here. All right. Okay. Dr. Medina, Jeff Boyd says, leave the entire live chat and come back into the live and request to join again, because somehow it is not connecting to your account. All right, basketball, hiking, rock climbing, running, mountain biking. There is so much there. I love it. Ice hockey, lacrosse, climbing. Good, excellent. So many good activities. Okay, let me see where Dr. Medina is. We will find him. He's somewhere in Loma Linda, and he will make it to this Instagram show. Okay, Ernie, if you can hear me, go ahead and log out and log back in and request to be back in the live chat. And everybody else, go ahead and keep posting. I see. Okay, very good. Do we have any others? Climbing. Good. Guys, excuse me for 1 second. I'm sending requests, but it says it won't send. Okay, Ernie, I will try to pull you in again. I will try to do it and see if something shows up on your screen now, Ernie. I'm trying. I just sent it again. And hopefully you will get it. Is it saying something on your end so that you can click on it? Somebody says eating. Eating is definitely not a physical activity, but I can understand why you enjoy eating. That's for sure. Yes, very good. Most types of sports. Very good. I love it. Okay, we're going to keep trying to troubleshoot our, oh, I see tacos. Somebody likes tacos. Alex likes tacos. That is brilliant. Very good. Okay, guys, now I see here, let's see. All right. I'm going to try to bring him on one more time. And otherwise, I will try to message our producer real quick so that, there he is. What's happening? Hello.
Sorry, I have no idea what was going on. I kept requesting, and it kept saying, can't send. So
That's
sorry
okay.
about that.
You know what? This is perfect. This is a huge rolling, thundering entrance to the show. So it's all good. Welcome, Dr. Medina, to the show. I'm so excited to have you here, even after multiple tries. We have wonderful people here in our show today from all over the world. I don't know if you heard.
That.
Yes, we have people from Hong Kong and Uruguay and Berrien Springs and the dorms and from all over the place. And everyone is excited to hear from you. And I'm excited that you're here, Ernie. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Can you hear me okay? Because I don't know if it was my headphones or something, but I was having some audio issues, and so I
Yeah.
had to go to settings, and so I
Yeah.
just took it out just in case, and
Yeah.
I got it. Okay,
The sound is very good. I can hear you well and I can see you well as well. So
okay,
it's perfect. Perfect.
good. All right.
Well, Ernie, I gave you a nice little intro
Yeah,
already,
I
but
heard. I don't know
but
who you were. I don't know who you were talking about. That didn't sound like. I'm like, who's she? She must have another guest coming on before me, so I don't know who that was.
no, it was you. It was you. And you know, honestly, there's so much more to say about you. And let me just ask you a couple of more questions about that. Ernie, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about where you grew up and where you live now, and what is it that you do day in, day out? Like what's your main job?
Well, most people think I'm retired because all they see me do is playing pickleball, so they think I don't work. But no, I do still work. No, I grew up in Michigan most of my life, there at Andrews University, Berrien Springs. My mom still lives there,
All
in the
right.
community there. And then I moved out here to California in 1989 for graduate school. I graduated from Andrews in 89 and came out here for graduate school. So I did my master's in health promotion, my master's in public health and health promotion, and my doctorate in public health and preventive care.
Excellent.
So then in 93, I graduated and was working at a medical group nearby called Beaver Medical Group in Redlands. And I worked there for about 21 years, working with patients, doing small group things in weight loss, smoking cessation, pediatric obesity,
Wow.
diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So I did small groups and also one-on-one kinds of appointments with patients. And then I also did employee wellness and just a variety of things, but that's mainly what I did and then I came back to Loma Linda about 5 years ago in 2015. And I've been here ever since. And I teach mostly in the MPH program for health education and wellness coaching, and also the doctoral program in preventive care. So those are where most of my classes are at. And then I also am also alumni, faculty alumni representative. So I do all the alumni stuff as well.
So really, I mean, I just listened and you know, I know you, so I know all the things you do, but I don't really think I know anyone who probably does more things than you do. You really have so many things going on, which is really remarkable, and it's inspiring to hear that. And Loma Linda is really lucky to have you because you have really brought to the table there an element that I think many of the students watching us can maybe relate to. Students, I don't know how you feel, but doesn't it sometimes feel that school can be a bit theoretical? And it was always my thing when I went to school. You know, for me, it was like, well, this sounds really good and this is a good concept, but I didn't really quite see how this is going to fit in practically. And Ernie, I've always admired about you that you have this ability to translate theory into practice. You're a very practical person. And I think
Yeah.
that is an element that has really enhanced the School of Public Health and the programs at Loma Linda, because you're
Oh,
that element there that adds that practical component. And let's be real, when we talk about health and well-being, what is theory without practice?
right, right. And that's so true because, working in the trenches, so to speak, in patient health education for 21 years, we get all these journals, we get all these research studies and all this kind of thing, but then it's like it's way up here, and then how do we translate that down to real life advice
Yeah.
for people, especially for lay
Yes.
people? So
Yes.
I was always translating. We talk about translational kinds of things. I was always translating all that kind of thing down to so that people could actually use it. What does it
Yes.
really mean? I like in one journal it says they always have like a little box. The so what. Okay, all
Yes.
this stuff, research, methodology, blah blah blah. So what? Okay, and
Yep.
that's sort of been so when I came back to academia, that's sort of what I do. So I sort of trying to bridge the academics with the clinical.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you know what? I love what you just said. You know, I told everybody they should take a notepad and a pen. I have one too. I always like to jot down great thoughts. And, while I have heard this, it just illustrated that again, there's two very simple words. But if you actually use those words, talking about theory to practice, if you actually use those words and you start applying them to a lot of the stuff you do and you ask yourself, so what? You will start getting down to the why of what you do. And I
That's
think
true.
that is so vital. It's so vital. I think everybody should note that down. So what? Ask yourself, so what? What you do or don't do. So what? Ask that question. I love that. That is such a great impulse. I'm noting it down right now. Very good. So, Ernie, in our show, ThriveCast, as you know, brand new show, we developed it for the reason that we really want to share the brilliance of so many of you that are out there that have such great insight, that have developed so much actual experience and collected experience that you can help the world with. And we said, you know what? This is the time. We're all online way more than we have been before. And I'm not sure about you guys watching, but I'm sort of personally a little bit fatigued of some type of a show and of something fake. To me, it's more like I want to hear from real people and I want to have real talk and about a way that we can make our lives better, because the reality is our lives have changed. All of our lives have changed, whether we want to realize this or not. And now what that does to me is change can either be perceived as a hurdle or change can be perceived as an opportunity. And we said, let's turn this challenge into an opportunity. And ThriveCast is about this idea: how can we live our lives to thrive regardless of the circumstances? We all live in an age of Corona. We all live in an age where things are happening, where we're all wondering what's actually happening. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on how can we thrive despite what's happening. And I think that is what ThriveCast is really trying to capture. And so the first 2 weeks, we had brilliant conversations with Denard Finot. Then we had a conversation with Jose Berger. And last week particularly, we talked about this idea of being made to matter. And it was such a great conversation that Jose really incepted. And today we want to talk about the subject of that we are made to move. And as I just said earlier, you obviously have the title, the Physical Activity Evangelist. So we will talk about that, Ernie. But before I start with the actual questions of tonight, I say tonight, this morning. It's tonight in Germany. It is morning in Michigan. And it's very early morning in California.
Not too bad.
But I ask everybody the same 3 questions, and I'm always very excited to hear the answers. So are you ready for those first 3 questions? Okay, let's go. All right, question number 1. What is your favorite fruit and why?
Oh, that's easy. Mango, because mango is the fruit of heaven. You know, in the tree of life, there's a tree of life has 12 different types of fruit, and they're all mango, but there are 12 different varieties of mango on the tree of life.
I love this. I've never heard this. That is brilliant.
Oh, you never heard that?
Nope, I have not. But basically what it tells everybody, eat mangoes, right? Everybody should eat mangoes.
Right.
Okay,
That's
very
right.
good. Love it. Very good. Okay, question number 2. Describe your current mood using weather.
Using weather, I would say sunny.
Sunny. I love it. It's nice and simple. I love it. Sunny. You know, really, truly, I don't think you've ever had another weather mood or mood weather. You're always sunny, which is great. Okay, very good. Okay, here comes the hard question now. Here we go. All right. What are you not good at?
Oh, that's easy. I would say drawing is probably my worst, something I'm not good at all. Drawing.
Drawing, okay.
I cannot draw or paint for my life. I can draw stick people, but yeah, that's one skill I have. That's why I like photography and other things like that. But yeah, drawing I cannot do. And I admire people who can draw and paint. It's just, it's just amazing to me. Like, Nathan Green, when I was working at Andrews, I used to work for public relations, which is I forgot what it's called now. It's called something else, but I used to work in the PR building there, and I did a photo shoot of Nathan Green, and I saw him painting. It was just amazing. I went to his house, his studio. So yeah, I have always admired people who paint and draw, because I can't do it at all.
It's the truth. I would agree with you. It's such a great, amazing skill to have. But here's the good part. Everybody is good at different things, and that is what makes the world interesting, right? So very good. Okay. Thank you for being such a good player and actually engaging in my 30 questions. I appreciate that. All right, Ernie, we're going to dive into our subject today. I'm very excited. We have a lot of students here with us today. Students can also earn co-curricular credit. Guys, if you just joined the program, welcome, welcome. We will share the link at the end of the program of how you can earn co-curricular credit. And Denard Finot is asking, can you draw for us? Okay, Ernie, I'm going to have to do this. Can you just draw something and hold up a piece of paper?
Draw something?
Draw something. Man. Yes, let's do that.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
oh my goodness.
You didn't know this was coming.
I did not. Okay, I'll draw something that I always drew when I was like in church. And this is sort of what I always like to draw. Okay. There. Can you see that?
Nice. That is brilliant. Okay, is that an airplane?
Yeah, it's a jet airplane. I always like to draw jet airplanes.
I mean, I think that's quite good, actually. That's quite a good airplane. I was quite impressed. I'm pretty sure you can draw better than I can. So.
I would draw all kinds of jet airplanes when I was sitting in church.
Hey,
as
maybe
a kid.
you actually perfected your skill more than you thought. So.
Oh my.
All right, here we go, Ernie. We're going to talk about. Yeah, no, I say thanks, Denard. So movement. We're going to talk about that we're made to move. I have a question actually for the audience, Ernie, and then we'll talk about that as well. Okay, audience, everybody that's on this live situation, I hope you're tuned in. I hope you're listening. When you hear the word motion, what comes to mind? When you hear the word motion, what do you think of? What comes to mind? Any other association words when you hear motion? Anything that you hear, post it in the chat so we can read some answers. Hopefully someone will post something in the chat. Sometimes it's a bit delayed, Ernie, in the chat when we're here. So when you hear the word motion, what do you think of? Motion. Anybody think of anything? Exercise. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you, Taznir. Anybody else? When you hear the word motion, what do you associate with motion?
Walking.
Good.
Running.
Isaac Newton.
Physics.
Nice.
Oh.
Dancing. Very good. Excellent. Very good. Playing
sports. You mean
sports.
like the Grand March kind of dancing?
Right. Indeed. Very good. Activity, movement, trains. Okay, I like it. Expressive. Ooh, I like that. Good. You guys are great. I love those words. Work. Somebody says work. Okay. Okay, real talk. Yeah, very good. I love that. Thank you for participating. So, any form of movement, says Sherry. Jet plane.
Jet plane, yeah.
That was a good one. Very good. Wind. Good. Very nice. So, Ernie, motion is a crazy thing, right? I mean, if you think about motion and movement, tell us a little bit about why you have been named a physical activity evangelist.
Yeah, well, when I do my talks, I've always start off with the idea that we were created for movement, for motion. Mm-hmm. And this is something, I found actually some Ellen G. White quotes in Ministry of Healing back in 1905. She talked about how, exercise and movement was vital to health. And then one quote I even have, she says, and in many cases, it's even more important than medicine. So I use those in all of my talks at the beginning. It's in Ministry of Healing. Forgot the page number, but I can send it to you if somebody asks. So, it's a vital part of our life. We tend to talk a lot about nutrition, especially coming here from Loma Linda. But I'm trying to build up our physical activity research base because I put that right up there with nutrition. In fact, I often open with a slide picture showing an astronaut and somebody in a coma. All right, and I say to them, look, the astronauts I first asked, what happens to these guys when they're in outer space for a long time? Okay, if they're going to go to Mars, it's going to be a 6-month mission at least, minimum, just to get there and back. So you're going to be out in space for a long time. What happens to their bodies? Or to the coma patient that's in a bed year after year after year, what happens to them? They deteriorate, they atrophy, right? Everybody knows that answer. Yeah. And so I said, but they're getting the best nutrition that money can buy, right? They're getting whatever nutrition NASA can give them, whatever medicine can give them. But even with the best nutrition, all the supplements, all the nutrients, all the phytochemicals that they can get in zero gravity, in laying in bed all that time, they still deteriorate. So that tells me we are created for movement. Now, nutrition is important. Don't get me wrong, but we do need nutrition. But nutrition by in and of itself is not enough to keep us healthy, our body's healthy. So we have to move. So when I talk with my vegan friends and all that, and they don't really exercise, I say, okay, well, we were created to move, and that's so that's sort of my my pushback a little bit against this whole nutrition mentality, because God created us to
Yeah.
move. If you think of Adam and Eve, they had the best nutrition, obviously, but they were also given work,
Yeah.
right? To take care of the garden, take care of the animals,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
No, this was, I loved listening to this example that you just brought with the astronauts and like being in space. That is really brilliant analogy to look at that. And you know, if you think about it, guys, if we really, I mean, just in this idea of what you're saying, that we're created to move, okay? Think about your body. Inside your body, stuff is happening all the time without you knowing, right? Things are just happening. And what's happening inside your body is motion. There's always motion. Everything in your body is constantly moving. Whether you lay down or not, stuff is moving on the inside. And that to me was always such an amazing element of how miraculously our bodies are designed, that we are designed to be in motion at all times, and that our body works the best when it's in motion. Because at the end of the day, when it stops moving, it's done being alive, right?
right.
And so I love what you're saying. I mean, this obviously this value of eating a healthy nutrition is vital for your well-being. But this element of motion is often underestimated, is it not?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I look at them as two oars of a rowing boat. You know,
Yeah.
if you just do one oar, what direction is your boat going to go? It's just going to go in a circle. So you need to have both oars pulling at the same time, you know, equally.
Oh,
If you want
I
to go
love
straight.
that. Yes, exactly. I love it. What a great example there. You know, have you ever tried to row with one paddle? That's,
Oh,
I mean,
it's
that's
tough.
tough stuff to
It's
do.
tough.
But with the two in tandem, in synergy, you actually create that harmony the way we were created to best function, right? So
Yeah.
no, that's really good. So this idea that motion is really at the core of our existence, at the core of us as a creation, that motion really drives everything in us and how we live. And so I think what would be really interesting if you told us what the best exercises that you recommend and why.
You know, this is an interesting question, because you always hear people say, "Oh, walking is the best exercise because it's easy to do, low impact, you can do it anywhere, da da da," and that's true. But in my work with with patients, I found that there are people that don't enjoy walking. So my answer to that question is, what is the best exercise that I would recommend to people? Is finding something that they enjoy doing, because I could tell them, hey, walking is the best, or I could tell them, hey, pickleball is the best, but if they don't enjoy doing it, guess what? They're not going to do it. So,
That's right.
There are exercises that are better for cardio and better for strength and better for flexibility, but in the big scheme of things, I just want people moving. So I always try to find out what they enjoy doing, what their interests are, and then find exercises or physical activity things that they can do that would be around that. So my answer to that question is, whatever you enjoy doing is the best exercise for you.
That is so good, because, I think the topic of exercise has been so controversial all over for years that I think there's a lot of confusion. I encounter a lot of people that say to me, I thought that the only effective exercise is to go jogging, right? And I'm sure you've heard that too. And I think we have a very narrow-minded outlook on what physical activity is and could be. And I love how you say, let's all really note this down. Enjoyment is an essential element of movement, and you have to enjoy it. So if you don't like running, find something else to do that you enjoy to do. And if you don't know what you enjoy, try new things that you will learn to enjoy. I mean, this is essentially what is possible.
If you think about it, when you ask people what's the number one reason why they don't exercise, even though most people know, like smoking, they shouldn't do it, but people still smoke. When you ask people why they don't exercise, even though they know all the benefits of exercising, what is the number one excuse that you would normally hear? That we should ask the audience, ask the people that. What do you think is the number one reason why people say they don't exercise? So type it in the chat and we'll see. I do this when I do a guest lecture on exercise to School of Nursing and other places. So and usually everybody gets it at least in the top 3, if not the top 1. See? First answer. Boom, boom.
Yep,
Second
there
answer,
it is. There it is. Well done.
No time. See, so So that's what we always hear, right? See, exactly. See, everybody's saying the exact answer I
Exact
was
same
looking
thing.
for.
Yep.
That's the COVID. Okay, that's true. That's made it a little more challenging for sure. So motivation, okay,
Yeah,
boring or
yeah,
busy. That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So time or lack thereof or perceived lack thereof is usually the reason I always heard. Like, just like everybody is saying here, the majority of people are saying no time. But so what I found is that we all have the same 24 hours, right? So why is it that some people are able to get exercise in on a regular basis and others aren't, even though we all have the same 24? And when I would talk to people, I really distilled it down as, hey, if you find things that you enjoy, guess what? If you enjoy doing it, you make time for it. If you don't enjoy it, you're going to find every excuse not to do it. I mean,
That's right.
you'd be like, oh, I got to clean the lint out of my dryer trap today, because I better do that or else my house might burn down. I mean, they'll rationalize it away.
Right.
So, but if it's something they enjoy doing, I don't care. It could be freezing outside. It could be, 109 outside. I mean, it could be crazy, and then people will still figure out a way to do it. And, unless they're laid up in bed or they're sick or something. And even then, some people will still do it. So that's why I come back to that whole enjoyment is that if you enjoy it, you're going to find ways to overcome that excuse of, oh, I don't have time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is a really important point, that enjoyment factor. And that's, true, like you said, with anything in life, if you enjoy it, you're more likely to actually stick with it and to actually do it.
That's right.
I have I think there's one really important question that I'd like to pose and discuss very briefly, just so that there's no confusion. So we use two terms. We talk about exercise and we talk about physical activity. Can you
Right.
talk a little bit about, are they the same? Are they different? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've been sort of throwing it around interchangeably here, but when we talk about exercise, and unfortunately, exercise has a lot of negative connotations or baggage, but exercise, typically we think of exercise as more of a structured kind of thing. Whether it's we use the acronym FIT, FITT, so frequency, intensity, time, and type. I know ACSM, American College of Sports Medicine, has also VMP, which I'm blanking out at the moment what that is, but I usually use FIT. And so that's the more formal, structured type of physical activity, so we refer to as exercise, whereas physical activity is very broad. It could just be everything from increasing your daily acts of living, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or using a standing desk, which I know I should be using right now. Using a standing desk versus sitting, so any kind of physical activity that you can do it's a very, very broad range.
Okay, that's really important. So physical activity is really, just moving about your day, just moving more, right?
Right.
And then
right.
and then exercise, underline and underscore that again. What exactly is
It's more
exercise?
of a structured, somebody just typed it in FIT,
Good.
FITT.
Good.
So that is more of a structured, organized. It has a definite beginning point and an end point.
Yeah.
And then so that's typically, and I even have this one graph. I think you've seen it too. You've used it as well, where you have somebody who can be doing physical activity throughout the day, and then also a structured physical activity, exercise, and they will have the lowest risk of cancer versus somebody who's obviously doing nothing.
Yes.
So so the two are distinct from each other.
Good. So really what we're trying to explain here is that every single one of us needs both. We all need more physical activity. In other words, move more, sit less whenever you can. And then we also need that structured exercise with the formula where we focus on increasing our physical fitness. And so that was brilliant that you said that again, because I think there's a lot of confusion too. Oftentimes I encounter people, and when I say, let's, talk about the exercise, they say, oh yeah, I exercise a couple times a week. And I say, well, what do you do? Well, when I go to the store, I park further away, and then I exercise by going to there. Like, well, that's a confusion. That's not exercise. That's actually just physical activity, because you're moving, which is good. But it's not exercise. So really that's important to note down. That's something we all need. And Ernie, do we need exercise during COVID? Is it really important to exercise?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when we talk about COVID, I've done several talks on COVID to other churches and things, virtually, of course. And when you look at exercise, I mean, when you look at COVID, the biggest thing that is, we've been focusing on wearing a mask and physical distancing. I don't like to use the term social distancing, because we're socially interacting right now across thousands of miles. So I like to use the word physical distancing. So we're washing hands, wearing masks, physical distancing.
Yeah.
But what we don't talk about enough, I believe, is healthy lifestyles, because when you look at healthy lifestyle and its connection, or the lack thereof, healthy lifestyle and chronic inflammation and your immune system, that is really what we need to be focusing on, is enhancing and keeping our immune system up as much as possible. Because, whether I'm not waiting for the vaccine, and so I know that if I can keep my immune system up at peak performance, then my mindset has always been not if but when.
Yeah.
If I get infected, so I might get exposed to the virus. It might be a small virus load, but if I get exposed to it and my immune system is up, it'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm doing all the wrong things, and there's all these acronyms, New Start, Creation, Health. I have one called 9Fs, that has like 9 different F factors, but all these things impact our immune system.
Yes.
So if you're doing all the wrong health behaviors, your immune system is going to be down. And exercise is definitely one of those, because when we exercise regularly, it increases the functioning of our immune system. It increases certain cells in our body, natural killer cells. It increases other interactions that we don't even know of. But definitely exercise improves and enhances our immune system. So now, too much exercise, I should say too much, but too much or extreme exercise, like Dr. Dave Neiman, who is one of the biggest exercise immune system researchers out there. He's at Appalachian State, used to be here at Loma Linda, but he's been studying marathon runners and all that. So when you do those kind of extreme exercises or sports events, you do have a depression of your immune system temporarily, or maybe a little longer. So, going to extremes on anything is not the ideal for the body. So I'm talking about well-balanced exercise and physical activity. You're going to enhance your immune system to its peak performance, along with all the other things we talk about in lifestyle. So definitely, yes, exercise is critical during this time of the pandemic.
Okay, excellent. At this minute, really quickly, as we're talking about this, as you are underscoring how important it is to stay active during, particularly this time, always, but particularly during this time, some of the people that are on this show may not really know how to get started. What does this even mean? Or maybe we're lacking creativity. What can we do? Many gyms are closed. What can you do? And so I just wanted to give a quick little note here that there are so many good free resources. And actually, if you would like to, follow our AU Live Holy account. AU Live Holy, which is AULIVEWHOLLY, and follow that Instagram account. And there we continuously provide tips, ideas on all different health practices to build your immune system. And if you would like, send a private message to AU Live Holy, and our team will send you a link to our Andrews University Wellness Transformation Guide that will give you practical tips on how you can actually make sustainable, good, healthy changes during particularly a time like this. So if you want that free of charge, email or message AU Live Holy on Instagram, follow AU Live Holy on Instagram, send a message and request our transformation guide, and we will send you a link on Instagram message so that you can get that. Okay. So thank you.
I also want to say, Dominique, just before I forget,
I've
been talking about the immune system with COVID, but also, the thing that we're seeing a spike in is suicide, depression, mental health issues because of the lockdown, the seclusion, the isolation, the social distancing and all this. And exercise is one of the best, is one of the best things that can counteract and help improve the mental side of things. And so depression, anxiety, stress management, for me, it's one of my main stress management techniques for the mental side of things. And so that's another big unfortunate COVID response that we've been having. And so exercise works in that area as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. Ernie, I want to move on to a very important question I have for you, because I know this is one of the subject areas you love to talk about. So let's get to that. I have to look at the time a little, so we need to make sure we stick to our schedule here. But okay, let me rephrase this. What is your favorite physical activity or exercise, I should say, at this point?
Well, I have two. So, they're both different enough. So they're both my favorites. I've been into mountain biking since I moved out here in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And then also more recently, in the last 4 years, is pickleball. And my mom, who is now 82, like I said, she's living there at Andrews. Some of you watching probably know her because we've been there since 1975. So if you're from that area, you would know, you probably ran into her. But she's the one that got myself and my siblings started in this sport, because it was back in 2016 when I was back there visiting that I learned about the game right there at the Philam Church gym there on Kephart Lane in Berrien Springs. So those two are my main physical activities. I've been mountain biking a lot longer, but about 5 years ago, actually a little bit longer, I got diagnosed with a heart condition, cardiomyopathy. And if I don't know if anybody knows, yes, I did say pickleball. That's one word there, Denard. But and so I sort of dropped out of mountain biking for a little bit because it was just, my ejection fraction. My cardiologist told me, who you know very well because he's a fellow German, Dr. Thomas Mikowski. He told me that when I got checked up, he said that I was 10% above the level that they would put me on the heart transplant list. And I just about freaked out. I was like, what? And so, my ejection fraction, I think, was like down to 30. And so when you're trying to exercise and your heart's only pumping out 45% of what it should be versus 85 or 80%, it's really hard to exercise. And so I sort of dropped off of mountain biking, and that's when I got into pickleball. And pickleball is great because it's a moderate intensity, except when you play singles, moderate intensity. So I could play 3-4 hours of pickleball, get 25,000 steps in, but yet my heart didn't limit me. So for the next 3 or 4 years, and I was playing pickleball, but then during the pandemic, a lot of the courts were closed in the beginning. And, and I'll tell you, I sorry for all those who are runners out there. I hate running. I mean, the only time I will run is if I'm being chased or am I chasing something or someone. So I loved ultimate frisbee when I was a student. I mean, that's an awesome sport as well. But I'm running after a frisbee or running away from somebody. But I hate running because it's so boring. It's just like, shoot me now. So sorry if you're a runner, but and so my wife's a runner. But so then I said, man, I can't play as much pickleball because of the pandemic. All the courts are closed, our wellness center's closed, and all this. So then I thought about mountain biking, and that's when I tried an e-mountain bike, so an electric mountain bike. And the store nearby said, hey, you can take this home and demo it on your trails. We have trails right here near Loma Linda, in Loma Linda. So I did, and the first ride on the dirt, I was sold. It felt like I was riding like I was back in my 20s again. Yeah. And pre-cardiomyopathy. So I was sold. I made the investment. I bought that, and so now I'm able to mix mountain biking, and I help run kids. I run a kids mountain bike club. We have almost 20 kids in there from ages 8 to 14. Nice. And then so we go riding in these hills every week. I haven't lost a kid yet. We've had crashes, but I have not had anybody go to the emergency room yet.
That's awesome. But this is so interesting that you're saying this. So you really, I loved, this is so important. You did not see your diagnosis as a limitation. You saw it as, okay, I can find another physical activity, because in essence, that has helped you to continue to actually strengthen your heart and your whole system. Yeah. And now and now you're incorporating the other as well. And what I just loved also, I just want to point out, physical activity and exercise as such great opportunities for positive social interaction. You were talking about how you're working with, you're playing with other people. You have a group of kids that you're riding with. And this gives another element to showing how well-being and well-being behaviors are really all interconnected. So if you move together, you're thriving together. And so we only have 1 more minute for this last question, Ernie. So it has to go super, super quick, quick. Okay. But it's important. So on ThriveCast, and talking about that we're made to move, but as a general concept of thriving, what would you say are the top 5 behaviors or things that you believe contribute to helping you and people to thrive? What are 5 things that you think will help people thrive?
Well, I thought about that. So my number one is joy. And so I use the acronym JOY for Jesus first, others second, and then yourself third. So, and that could be a whole nother talk, right? Just on those things. Exactly. That's number 1. And number 2, I put down service. So serving others, doing volunteer work, that kind of thing. There's something about doing things for others that benefits you in ways that very few other things can. And
Right.
then number three, I had to put down humor or fun, having fun. I mean, it's so easy to be swept up in the negativity of this, what's going on in the news, and all this. And so you really need to be intentional about looking at the humor in life and having fun. And then number four, keeping it in perspective. I talk a lot
Brilliant.
about this in my stress management classes. Again, we can be so discouraged by what's happening here. And, and my theme is, this world is not my home, right? So keeping it in perspective. And then number five, I had to end it with, exercise and nutrition, those two R's.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, those are my five. I know that's more than five, but I sort of squeezed it in there.
It was brilliant. I love this. I loved how, everybody brings such a different perspective to it, and yet all vital things. And I hope that our viewers captured that these are your suggestions to thrive. And I want to encourage all of you viewing, please connect with Dr. Ernie Medina on Instagram. Ernie, tell us what your handle is so people can follow you on Instagram.
Prof Pickleball, Prof P Ball Ninja. So I'm known as the Pickleball Ninja.
Very good. So Prof, again?
It's PBAL, so shortened word for pickleball. So if you see it there, it says Prof P Ball Ninja.
Very good. So please connect with Ernie. And if you have any other questions, I'm sure he's happy to connect with you on these subjects, especially if you want to talk about pickleball, he'll be happy to do that. But I think today what is important for us as we talked about the subject, that we are made to move. Everything in our bodies is so that
Amen.
If we stay in motion, we will experience a much higher quality of life, and we will be able to thrive more. And as you also heard, we all need both. We need physical activity and structured exercise in our lives. And just because gyms are closed or just because it's COVID doesn't negate the fact that actually now more than ever, movement will help you to thrive despite the circumstances. It can bring joy to your life. It can connect you with other people. And let me tell you, I even right now have a workout partner, and we do workouts on video. We can't be in the same place, but we can be on video, and we're actually taking our phones and we do a whole workout together. These are things that are actually possible. And so I just want to encourage everyone today, find something that is movement that brings you joy. And if you do not know what it is, try something out so you can find joy in movement. And as we get to the end, I will ask our producers to post the link for co-curricular credit into the chat that can be copied and pasted into your browser, so that way you can sign in for co-curricular credits. I will ask Mr. Boyd or Mr. Denard to do that at this time in the chat. And as we close, Ernie, I want to thank you greatly for your time to share your insight and wisdom and your passion and enthusiasm. And I also want to give you the chance to give us the last word of today.
Well, that's, I sort of mentioned it already. My last word is that song, "This World Is Not My Home, I'm Just Passing Through." And that really is, when all is said and done, whether you're working in school and going for that career, or you're out working already, in the end, we have to realize that this is all temporary. When I gave the commencement talk 2 years ago, I ended my talk with a picture, a video of my Andrews diploma burning, literally burning. It was a copy, but I was trying to drive the point home to the graduates that, hey, they can go for all these accolades, success and all that, but in the end, it's all going to burn up. So do your best. God put us here for a reason. Do our best, but in the end, realize that this is just all temporary.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That is such a great thought, like you say, that puts things into perspective and to help us to see things from another side, but it's also hopeful. And with hope and joy, we can always find meaning in everyday life. And I want each of you to know, everyone that's on this call, whether it's live or whether you're watching this as a recording on Instagram, IGTV, or on the YouTube channel, I would like you to know that every single one of you has been made to thrive. Your intention, God's intention for your life, is for you to thrive. And so today we have the chance to make the choice to live a better life, to make good choices, and to thrive. And we are here to support you in that journey. reach out to us on AU Live Holy. We're here at Andrews University for you, whether you're a student or part of our global community. And Dr. Ernie Medina, we shared your link. And if you would like to connect with me as well, my handle is at Dominique Alive. Please connect with us so together we can create a better world where we can thrive. And with that thought, I say thank you to Dr. Medina. I say thank you to our team. And I say thank you for each one of you tuning in. And the link is not working yet, but just copy and paste it. It will be active very soon. Notate it down and you can get credit. Thank you all, and bye-bye. And hello to California and to Michigan and wherever else you are. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Dominique.
Bye-bye.
Bye.